I usually like to build all my projects from scratch so I can get the perfect piece for my space. But when you find the steal of a deal, like this massive conference table that is made out of solid oak, you've got to snag it up. And I'm so excited because I've been dying for the perfect project to use Waterlox's True Tone Tung Oil Finish in Pickled White On. Ever since I did the video where I tested out all the different colors on different kinds of wood, I could not wait to use this on an oak project, and this is the one. So let's get started. Since I'm working with a tabletop, the surface is mostly flat. I figured, let's skip the stripper. I don't like all those heavy chemicals, and just get out the sander and really use that to strip down this old finish. And I started with a belt sander with 40 grit sandpaper in it, and was able to use that to really make a huge dent in the old seal on top of this table, and immediately it started looking absolutely stunning. At first I was using a battery powered belt sander, but it was ripping through my batteries faster than I could charge them. So I ended up getting a plug-in belt sander, which was on my list that I wanted anyway. And that way I was able to continually work without having to wait for batteries to charge. If you do have a battery powered, it does not mean you cannot do this. You just need to make sure that you have all of your batteries good and charged, and give yourself some breaks while they recharge. After the first side was done, it was time to flip it over and repeat the whole process on the underside. Sanding with a belt sander really does take off a lot of finish, and you have to be careful not to hold it on the surface for any length of time, because it will cause dents into your surface because it's very powerful, especially with a 40 grit sandpaper. It also is an extreme arm and shoulder workout, so don't plan on sanding a tabletop after arm day. Once the tabletop, both sides were sanded down with the 40 grit sandpaper, I went on to sanding the base of the table. And the base was easy to sand as well, using the belt sander for any flat spots. Then I also grabbed out my orbital sander, again with 40 grit sandpaper, and was able to get most of the base done. There were some tricky spots, like the corners where the legs connected to the skirt. Those I was able to get into with a chisel, a corner sander, and hand sanding, and that was able to clean that up very nicely. I finished the first sanding on both sides of my tabletop, and it already looks amazing. I cannot wait to finish this. But I have a little bit of a problem. There is a quite significant bow in the top of my tabletop. It was probably stored on its side. I know it was not protected from the heat and the moisture, so it's bowed over time. And I need to flatten it out if I'm going to have a usable table. So it's not something I'll be able to flatten out easily. So what I've decided to do is I'm actually going to rip this tabletop into smaller pieces that will fit into my planer. Because it's a 4-foot wide table, I'm going to rip it into 12-inch pieces. I'm going to plane it down so it's nice and flat, and then I'll make sure to square off both sides. I can join it all together just like I would if I was building a brand new tabletop, and then I will have a beautiful and very flat tabletop to put on my base. One thing I learned with this process was a 9-foot by 4-foot solid oak tabletop is extremely heavy and did require an extra set of hands for some parts of this project. But I got it onto some sawhorses and was able to use my Craig rip cut to rip the table up into 4 12-inch pieces. Since I didn't have any twisting on my boards, they were just bowed. I was able to use the planer to flatten that out. And I started by first flattening the back side, which was the curved side. And once I got that flat, I flipped it over and flattened the other side. This did thin out my tabletop. Originally, it was 1.5 inches thick. And when I got done flattening all the boards, and I also removed the groove that was added when they originally made the tabletop, and I did not want a groove in my tabletop, it ended with a 1.25 inch or just shy of 1.25 inch thick tabletop. Next, we came up to a challenge, and the biggest problem with this table really ended up being its size and its weight. Even though I ripped down the large tabletop into 12-inch wide pieces, each piece was still 100 pounds and 9 feet long. I tried to square up the edges on my table saw, but with a 9-foot long board that was over 100 pounds, it just was really hard for me.
So I came up with a solution, and this solution is a really great way to join boards when you don't have a table saw or a jointer. And what I ended up doing is clamping the two pieces I needed to join together. And then I attached the two pieces together with some blocks, and I screwed that into the underside. Now, the reason the blocks are needed is because if you just clamped it together and tried to cut down the middle, your clamps would pull it back together and you'd bind on your blade. So what I'm doing is I'm using these blocks to hold it in place, and then I use my circular saw again with the rip cut to rip right down that seam. And I'm creating two perfect edges that can join together. These edges are not perfectly straight and they are not perfectly 90 degree, but they are a perfect mirror of each side. So when I put them together, my seam totally disappeared. I repeated this process on all three of my seams, and on a couple of them that had larger gaps, I actually had to do it twice in order to close up that gap completely and make that perfect mirror on both sides of the seam. And all that work meant that it was now time to put this tabletop back together. I decided to use biscuits to help align this giant 9-foot tabletop. And then it was time for glue up. And glue up was actually quite easy with the biscuits aligning it, all of my edges nice and jointed. I was able to put in a lot of glue on both sides. I wanted lots of squeeze out to make sure that this tabletop lasted for many years to come, and then lined it up. Now what I ended up doing is combining two pieces and the other two pieces together first. And I had those clamped. I was able to do that all by myself. And then I needed a second set of hands in order to put those two now 24-inch wide pieces together. So when my husband came home, he was able to help me get those last two pieces put together, and we were able to clamp up the entire 4-foot wide. Well, it was about 46 inches at this point because we did lose a couple inches with the ripping down and joining back together process. But we got it all clamped together and it is nice and flat. Then it was time to return to sanding. Now, originally I'd only sanded it to a 40 grit to remove the finish. So now I'm stepping it down and I'm doing an 80 grit sanding on it. This also is helping to smooth out any imperfections from joining the pieces together and getting rid of any of the glue that is on my tabletop. After that, I repeated it with an 120 grit sandpaper. Then for the final sanding, because the Waterlox finish will show any imperfections in sanding, I had a little bit of a challenge with the belt sander to make sure that I didn't have significant noticing start and stop points. So I did my final sanding with my orbital sander to clear up any of those spots and make sure I had a nice smooth spot to apply this beautiful finish to. I also trimmed up both edges of my tabletop to just square it up. There was a couple chips in one of the boards that was just from age and the wear, so I cut it off, lost a couple more inches there, but it was totally worth it to have a beautiful end to my table. And finally, I took my palm router to add a tiny chamfer around the top edge of my tabletop to just give it a little something special to finish it off.
All of the sanding is done on both the base and my gorgeous flat tabletop. So it is time to start putting down the finish. Now I chose the pickled white True Tone color infused finish from Waterlox for this because it's going to give me almost a unfinished look, but it's going to have a little bit of white. I love the white with the open grain of this oak because it soaks into it, gives it a little bit of a lime wash look, and then we use the Buff In True Tone finish on top of it. We're going to do 2 coats of that, and it's going to protect it, but it's still going to give it a little bit of that unfinished look, and it's going to look absolutely gorgeous when done. So let's get started.
Applying the True Tone color infused finish could not be easier. It's a buff-in finish, so you're going to start by either pouring out a little bit or putting it on your rag and then buffing it in. And you'll immediately start seeing the color into that grain. Though pickled white is very faint, so you're not seeing it as much on the video right now, but in person, I was definitely seeing more of a white sheen on my entire surface and a lot of white in the open grain of my oak. I also made sure to apply the same finish to the entire base of my table. Now, my base, I learned, is not solid oak. The two side pieces is actually a veneer on top of an MDF. And I was a little worried about how the veneer would work with the True Tone, but it turned out absolutely gorgeous and worked almost exactly like it did on that solid oak surface. After applying the color to your furniture, you do need to wait 24 hours before applying the sealer, and also make sure to give plenty of airflow to the piece while it dries. Then it's time for the finish, and this is applied the exact same way as the color. You're just going to buff it in, and this is where the solid oak tabletop really just turned out absolutely amazing. You can see the color just deepening, but it still gives it that matte, almost unfinished look, not a very high gloss. And you'll apply that to the entire piece. Again, wait 24 hours and let that dry with lots of airflow. The Waterlox finishes really cure with the oxygen in the air. So make sure to give it lots of airflow, open a couple windows, put on a fan, and then repeat one more time with the True Tone finish to give it an absolutely stunning and very protected coat so you can start using your table again.
I'm super excited because the table refinishing is completely done and it looks amazing. All of that gorgeous grain pattern from the oak that was hidden below the dark stain from before is now front and center, and it's got beautiful white, little bit of white in all of that grain and a little white tone from that Waterlox True Tone color infused pickled white seal, and I love it. It was really a big project to refinish such a large table, but completely worth it because I was able to give an old table that was ready for the trash new life, and it's the perfect piece of furniture for my new office.